Daddy's on deck with evil dead chick. What's in store when you open the door? Step inside, my little ones. Bring your flashlight and good luck charms. Oh, and good luck charms. Oh. Might get dark. It might get scary. Maybe even a little insane. Crawl out from under the bed. Don't be afraid. Evil Dead Chick is here to entertain and thrill. Daddy's on deck with Evil Dead Chick. Let's hang out till the sun comes up.
Hey, gang, and first of all, I'd like to sincerely apologize for those of you that may have been waiting for this episode of Cannon Fodder to premiere or emerge or whatever you want to call it. Um, I got behind on watching the movies, and it took me a little while longer, but excuse me, I wanted to make sure that I got both of them watched fully so I could discuss them. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, they're canon films. Well, you don't really have to watch them thoroughly. But these were two films that I had never watched. So I wanted to make sure that I did get them watched before getting on here. But I'm going to get some housekeeping stuff out of the way before we talk about these two movies, The Godsend and Hot T-Shirts. First of all, I'm going to be starting a new segment or a new it's probably going to be a video. It's not going to be live streams, but it's going to be called Movie Roulette. And what's going to happen is, just like with the watch along picks that I did for a while, if you give a $5 super chat or more during a live stream that I do, and that includes watch alongs, if you give a $5 super chat or more, you automatically get to pick a movie for me to review. We don't have to do a drawing or anything like that. If we have 10 people that want to pick movies for me to review and they give a $5 super chat or more, I will have to space them out. But I will write them down. I will write down who wanted me to review them, and I will watch them and I will review them on an upcoming video for Movie Roulette. So you can pick any movie, any genre. I would prefer there not be porn in there. But most any other genre you can pick from. You can pick comedies, you can pick horror, you can pick sci-fi, you can pick action, you can pick a romantic comedy, teen sex comedy, whatever you want to pick. Okay, it can even be a movie that I've said in the past I hated it. If you're willing to give a $5 super chat or more, I will watch it and I will review it. As painful as that may be sometimes, but I'm trying to give back to you guys and gals out there. And, it's a way to get hopefully more support for the channel. And, I'm sure I'm not going to love every movie I review, but hey, you guys probably want to see me talk about movies that I wouldn't normally talk about. So here's your chance. For as little as $5, you can pick a movie and I will review it. Okay. So, what do we got coming up tomorrow night? Tomorrow night, hopefully at 8 o'clock, I will be talking about another couple of movies and these hopefully spectacular kills in those films. I'm going to be talking about another couple of horror films. For They're All Messed Up. So be sure to tune in. Like I said, hopefully it's going to be at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night. And it's sure to be a fun time, or I hope it will be. Now, I'm still talking to Candace, so I'm not sure if we are definitely going to be doing a Friday Foolish on Friday. I'm going to touch base with her again and discuss it. Hopefully we can, but if we can't, we'll be coming back eventually, as we said in the special report last week. And no watch alongs this weekend, no movie munchies this weekend. There will be a soup and jellos, so be sure to tune in for that. And I think that's all she wrote for the remainder of this week into the weekend. So, with that being said, let's get to these movies. Now, the first movie, I feel kind of bad that I had never seen this movie. It is The Godsend, and both of these movies I'm going to talk about tonight came out in 1980. The Godsend looks kind of older to me, but we got to think this was way back in 1980. That was a long time ago. It is a British film based on a book or a novel, and I thought of it as a cross between The Omen and The Bad Seed. This was an evil looking little girl. As much as Patty McCormick in The Bad Seed looked evil as Rhoda, there was something off about this girl. I don't know if they did something to her eyes, but it was like, it gave you a creepy feeling just looking at this girl. So we have a young couple who has, let's see, they have 4 children when the movie originally starts. And they're happy and stuff. And they meet this woman who's visibly pregnant. And she's really weird acting. She has piercing eyes too, just like the little girl Bonnie that she ends up giving birth to. And so after she gives birth, and she ends up giving birth in this couple's house, who have kind of taken her in and cared for her. They must be very trusting people because they just say, oh, you don't have anywhere to stay. Oh, come stay at our house. But so they do, and she goes into labor, and Alan, the husband, goes to get a doctor, and before him and the doctor can get there, his wife has helped the young woman give birth. And they hand off the baby to her, and I don't know how the wife knows how to cut the umbilical cord, and how she's able to do all that stuff, because it was never said that she was a midwife or anything. But it's a movie, so there you go. Maybe in the book they explain more. So um the next day, the wife wakes up and goes to check on the young lady and the baby, and finds that the baby is there, but the woman has disappeared. And they don't see her for the majority of the movie. So they adopt Bonnie as their own baby. And bad things start to happen after that. Remember I said they had 4 children, 2 boys, a little girl, and a baby who is also a boy. And Bonnie is with their infant son in uh, a crib or whatever, and the mother comes running in and wakes her husband. She says, our baby's dead. Our baby's dead. And he rushes in there, and the baby is visibly limp and stuff. I don't know if I would like to think that they didn't, give the baby anything to make it sleep, but I suspect that they may have, because it looked like a real baby, but it was awfully limp. And so, something that was odd though about this movie, it isn't until their third child dies that the parents get visibly upset and are screaming and crying and stuff like that. Especially the mother. I'm like, if I had kids and something like that happened, I would lose my mind with the first death. It took them 3 times before they got visibly shaken. And the husband has gotten suspicious all this time about what Bonnie's part is in all this. And he discovers that Bonnie has been the one that's been killing the children, that there's something evil with Bonnie. He tries to tell his wife, she won't listen to him, and eventually she tells him she wants a divorce. And it's not until after their last child falls out the window or is pushed out the window by Bonnie that, I mean, the husband was already convinced, but the wife, she's just so stupid. That was one of the problems I had with this. She was just so stupid. This child wasn't even hers. And meanwhile, this child is killing all her natural children and her blood children, and she still won't give up on Bonnie. And the movie kind of ends abruptly with Alan, the husband, seeing the woman that gave birth to Bonnie, and she's talking to another woman with 2 little girls and a baby, I think, in a stroller. And he's like, oh my God, it's going to happen again. There she is. And the woman was pregnant again. And we see him running, trying to catch up with them, and he loses them somehow. And that's basically how the movie ends. Now, I've never read the novel, so I don't know if it had a slightly different ending or another twist or whatever. But it was a very creepy movie. Like I said, it was a cross for me between The Omen and The Bad Seed. And I liked it. I mean, I thought that the wife and mother was stupid as all get out. Uh, but other than that, I thought it was a very well made movie, had very creepy moments in it. It was unsettling. And I would like to watch it again at a later time. So even though it had a few flaws in it, I'm still going to go ahead and rate this one 4 deadites out of 5. I would recommend this to anyone that hasn't seen it. Or if you watched a long time ago, hunt this one up. It is on YouTube. Steve had a copy of it that I ended up watching, but if you want to watch it and watch it for free, it is available on YouTube right now. In fact, both of these movies are available on YouTube. But Steve had copies of both of them, so I ended up watching his copies. So the second film, Hot T-Shirts, also came out in 1980, and I enjoyed it too, even though there was a lot of nudity in it, bare-breasted women galore. Um, I still liked the movie because I think the movie had heart. Yeah, it was kind of like those teen sex comedies. Women were showing their breasts at the drop of a hat, but it was fun. So you have this guy, Joe, who has a bar that he's going to be foreclosed on because he's behind on his mortgage payments. And so the bank's going to foreclose on him unless he can come up with some money to pay off his debt on his bar. So he gets the idea when watching these jocks at the college spraying down the cheerleaders with a water hose. And he gets the idea, why don't I have a wet t-shirt contest at my bar that will bring people in and I'll get more money. And so it works. But the old ladies in town, at first they want to protest and keep people out and keep people from coming to Joe's bar and all of that. But then they invite the ladies in and they don't give them regular iced teas. I think they give them some Long Island iced teas. And before long, those ladies are feeling good and they're not complaining and they're not protesting anymore. And so Joe is able to save his bar. So if you're a woman, I think you could enjoy this if you don't mind seeing a lot of bare breasted women. Um, I think if you watch it just for entertainment value and that at its core, I think this movie had heart. It was a fun little comedy movie. And I enjoyed it. I could see myself going back and watching Hot T-Shirts. It's really no worse or no better than a lot of the other films like it I've seen. But I liked it good enough that I'm going to give this one 4 deadites out of 5 as well. And so, even though I've got a couple of you in here now, I think that's all I need to talk about these two particular films for this edition of Cannon Fodder. I want to thank everybody that stopped in here at any point in time. We didn't really have anybody chatting, but that's okay. I'm still going to keep doing these things regardless because I'm all about putting entertainment out here for anybody that would like to see it. And if you couldn't join me live tonight, I know that the time was a little screwy and I had to change it a couple of times. I'll try not to do that in the future. But I also want to thank people that will watch this on the replay. And the next two movies, I think, are The Happy Hooker Goes Hollywood and Schizoid, which is another horror film that I've seen many, many times and that I really enjoy. So both of those films came out in 1980 as well. There's going to be a lot of these Golan Globus era canon films that came out in 1980. So a lot of stuff from the early 80s. So I guess that is all for me for now. I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off of here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday, folks. We're getting ever closer to Friday and the weekend. Let's make this the greatest weekend ever, folks. And just keep chugging along no matter what life throws at us, right? Because I know with the flooding and all that other stuff, I know people are going through a lot, and people are going through other things as well in their personal life. And so just remember, life is too short to be angry with somebody. And I want to remind you guys and gals of that as well. So touch base with somebody that you may have been angry with, or maybe you just haven't talked to in a while. It could really change somebody's day. It could really change somebody's mood. And I just want to leave you with that thought. But I'm out of here for the night, and I'll see everybody next time.